So Errol the Truth Spence, aka Man Down, aka Smoke Season, he let it be known and he told Keith Thurman, don't disappear if you manage to beat Manny Pacquiao. Now, funny enough, even before the fight was announced, I told y'all that PBC, Fox Sport, Heyman, whoever, they better put on the contract that if Keith Thurman gets the Manny Pacquiao fight, he willing to fight Errol Spence next. And they better have that written on the contract ready and deliver, because Keith Thurman might claim another injury and he might retire from the sport after getting the Manny Pacquiao fight. And y'all see today, Errol co-signs what I said. I mean, Manny Pacquiao, he ain't worried about a damn thing. I mean, Keith Thurman out there making all type of threats, but Pacquiao already seen anything and everything. But one thing for sure, he did get knocked out, so he might revisit that as well. But Keith Thurman did state that he would make Manny Pacquiao disappear after his July fight with Manny Pacquiao. Now, my only thing is, I hope Keith Thurman doesn't disappear after the victory as well, like Errol Spence stated. Because if Keith Thurman managed to get an impressive victory over Pacquiao, he can no longer use the excuse of this is only my get back here. I ain't ready to step in there with the big dogs. You can no longer say that, especially on top of you saying that you're the number one welterweight, which we know that's definitely not true. It's Errol Spence, and if somebody feel like it's Terence Crawford, no problem, you know. It's either of them two, but Errol Spence at welterweight definitely, Crawford as the pound for pound number one for sure. But as far as Keith Thurman, he's an important piece in the welterweight division, but he definitely ain't on the top two. That's for Errol and Crawford at this point. And Keith Thurman, after the Pacquiao victory, we won't hear the end of it because he's going to be acting like he's some big shot. But he definitely should win in an impressive fashion, because he is fighting a 40 years old Pacquiao and he's a 30 years old. So that's a huge gap. It ain't like he's 20 and Pacquiao's 30. I mean, like I said, that's a huge gap and is a significant gap, because when you pass 35 years old, you start declining heavily. And Pacquiao is no longer the same fighter he used to be 5 years ago or even 10 years ago. So Keith Thurman, on one hand, he got to do what he got to do, but at the end of the day, he got to keep the same energy when it comes to Errol Spence and Crawford, because he tried everything in his hand to make the Manny Pacquiao fight happen. He said, I will even go to the Philippines and fight the man. Now, will he go to Dallas Stadium to fight Errol Spence? Absolutely not, you know. But we're not even asking him to do all that. That fight could be in the MGM Grand, or it could even be in New York City. So as long as the fight takes place is all we care about. But we'll see. Like I said, after the fight, we'll see if he keeps the same energy with Errol Spence, which he never does. I mean, every time he talk about Errol Spence is always, I don't want to talk about the future. But if it's a Manny Pacquiao in the past, he always will talk about him and he talk about how bad he wanted to fight. But like I said, we know what time it is. Nobody want no smoke with Errol Spence. It's just too cloudy for them. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't Crawford, then at 147, ain't nobody wants no smoke with Errol Spence. And like I said, Errol Spence agreed with what I said in the past multiple times. But one thing for sure, Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman is a great fight. I can't wait to see it. Pacquiao in and out style versus Keith Thurman awkward style with his footwork and IQ. It's going to be very interesting. However, I'm expecting the Keith Thurman that we used to see in the past, at least the one we saw versus Danny Garcia and Sean Porter. But one thing for sure that he cannot afford to do is take off on the gas after the 7th round or something versus Manny Pacquiao. That's one thing you cannot do. You know, Pacquiao too experienced for that. And Manny Pacquiao versus Adrian Broner looked good, but you can see, you know, he's not as committed as he used to be. And at this point, it's not even physical, it's more mental. Because like Sugar Ray Leonard said, When you're 40 years old and you see an opening, when you was younger, you was just let it go. You will let punches fly and not worry about a damn thing. But when you're 40 years old, everything you do and every move you make, you're giving it a second thought. You see an opening, you like, oh man, I don't know, I ain't trying to throw right now, and I'm not trying to throw as hard because he gonna throw just as hard back at me. So you start worrying about your health, and like I said, boxing is 90% mental, 10 physical. So it's more mental at this point for Manny Pacquiao. I still see decent hand speed by Pacquiao and power, but his power ain't gonna go nowhere for sure. But his speed definitely declining, and like I said, it's just his reflexes, his mental state at this point, and stamina-wise. Can he keep up with Keith Thurman? Both fighters like to fight in the outside, so we will not see no inside work from either fighter unless they get each other on the rope or a scenario like that. And Pacquiao, obviously, his left hand is his money punch. Keith Thurman, he got lethal hands, both right hand and left hand. He definitely could hurt Pacquiao with either two, but we'll see. It's gonna be a good fight. The key for this fight is gonna be positioning and footwork for both fighters, because like I said, both of them like to box and fight in the outside. So whoever gets the better positioning is the one who's gonna be able to take advantage of the moment. And in my opinion, Manny Pacquiao has more fluid footwork. He doesn't have a better ring IQ at this point than Keith Thurman. However, he does have more experience, so that could benefit him a lot. But like I said, footwork, as far as just being more naturally gifted, Manny Pacquiao definitely is the fighter who's more naturally gifted, but he uses his footwork to in and out and just to slide to the right, slide to the left after he lands. And Keith Thurman does the same thing, but he's more versatile with it, especially when he's on the move. And Keith Thurman never really sits down in the pocket anymore. He stay on the move. He stay dancing around, and he might want to sit down a couple punches and get the respect of Pacquiao in the early part of the fight, so he could have Manny Pacquiao thinking twice and maybe even think about, should he be doing this at that age, But it's up to Keith Thurman and the game plan he's going to come out with. I'm pretty sure Manny Pacquiao, we always going to see what we always see from Pacquiao. And it's going to be a good fight, though. Can't wait to see it. I still favor Keith Thurman. If Manny Pacquiao doesn't fight reckless and doesn't take huge chances or make a big mistake, I see a unanimous decision win or even a split decision win for Keith Thurman. But if Manny Pacquiao really pushes for a knockout, especially if he's down on the cards, then I could see Manny Pacquiao lunging in and Keith Thurman catching him with a shot and possibly putting him out, because there's a huge size difference in that fight. Reach, height, and weight. So we'll see. Subscribe below if you're trying to get smart about him, and if you're trying to get dumb about it, don't listen to these casual ass fans. And peace.